Hello everyone, Alex here from Tanuki. It's been a long time since we've last spoken. It's been over a year at this point. Now, and as you would imagine, a lot has happened in that time. And before I get to that, let me take this opportunity to thank you all again for your continued support, particularly that of our last release, Vati and Veselikov, back in September. Despite the great number of headaches the production of that album created for Tony and I, we're happy to see that the reception has been positive and that you're all enjoying it, so thank you. Now, what's happened in the past year? Well, a lot, actually. Tony and his wife moved into a new home and they had a baby. She's wonderful, a lot of fun to be around. I have had two surgical procedures, one on my hand and one on my face. And in that time, both of us have been working very hard, both together and in our own time, on the production of our new album. And yeah, let's take a moment to talk about that, since that's the focus of this update. So the new release that we're working on is going to be titled "The Fire, the Fear, the Fall." And there are a few things about this album that make it unique and distinct from our past two releases. The first one being, and this one, I like to think that you're all going to be excited about this one. The Fire, the Fear, the Fall will be a full-length album. It's going to be a full LP, 10 songs plus. That is the goal. Now, this is not something that Tony and I have ever done for this band before. We feel that it would be a good challenge for us. And the goal is to make it a full-length album that is strong all the way through. We're not going to write 15 songs and include 3 songs that we consider weak. No, we'd rather have those songs omitted and roll with a shorter yet stronger album in general. We're hoping to write 10 plus songs and have the scope and vision of this entire release be strong and cohesive all the way through. Now, the second point about this album is that for the first time, we, as a band, Tony and I, will be engineering and producing this album on our own. Over the past year, we've been acquiring a lot of gear, guitars included. As you can see, I got my new Custom 24 PRS in the back, limited run. Tony himself has acquired some a new interface, new computer, new monitors, a guitar, new pickups, things that we were hoping to show you in the near future. We were doing all this in an effort to be able to produce the album on our own and engineer it on our own. This is, once again, an enormous challenge for us. It's not something that we've ever undertaken at this level. But we felt that it would be a fun one and a necessary one. One, it saves on studio time. We don't have to spend as much money. 2, we get to work on our own time. We don't have to work around schedules basically whenever we're free to go in and track, and we can take our time when it comes to, finding tones, making selections for pads. We're never going to feel rushed, which is a really, really good thing, and being rushed is always unhealthy for the creative process. And finally, it gives us complete control. And at the end of the day, the album, the vision and identity of the album will be entirely our own, with no one else's influence. So that's very exciting. And finally, the last distinct point for this album. This is probably going to be the most polarizing, but I feel it's a necessary one. All the subject matter on the new album will be personal, no more referential material. I'm not going to be writing about video games or anime or manga or anything of the sort. I realized in the past year that I still have a lot to say about my lived experience and about who I am as a person and how I experience the world. And I think it's time for me to get that out. I feel that I get the most out of my performances when the subject matter is personal. It means a lot more to me. And my hope is that this helps bolster the strength of this album. I hope that with time, that people that are disappointed by this news will come around and understand the significance and personal importance of this decision. And hopefully a lot of people are able to relate to the subject matter more. So yeah, that was a necessary decision on my part, and I hope you're all with me with it. So yeah, that's where we're at. as far as how far into the production we are, we've written about half an album to this point, and let me tell you, Tony and I have never been more excited about any of the material that either of us have ever written in our lives. I think this is some of the best music that both of us has ever produced, and it's definitely the most different. It's still very much us, it's still very much Tanuki Soup, but you guys are going to pick up on a lot of things and say, well, they've never done that before. Well, this is definitely different, and I hope that you guys like it as much as we're liking it. You know, we've definitely incorporated a lot of new elements from a lot of different bands and genres, and incorporated it into our own sonic identity to increase the scope and vision of this album. And I think it's coming together really well to this point. I'm excited to continue writing and adding more things to it, and making this album a much more broad and all-encompassing experience for everyone. And I hope that at the end of the day, it comes out feeling like an adventure and a journey, and less of an experiment and more of a story in terms of how each track moves into another. So yeah, that covers just about everything. Thank you all for taking the time to listen to my rambling. Hopefully this is good news to most of you. Feel free to share your opinions and thoughts and comments about this in the comment section. Feel free to get in touch with us via Facebook and Twitter. If you have any questions for me directly, feel free to hit me up on Ask.fm. I'll include the link in the description of this video. Feel free to ask me about anything, be it the album, be it the band, things in media, things, personal questions. Feel free to ask. I'm always happy to be open with you guys and forthright about things. All right, that pretty much covers everything. Once again, thank you all very much for your time. Be well, be safe, have fun, all that good stuff. This is Aleks from Tanuki Soup, signing off.